right, ladies and gentlemen of the 118 scale, 3.75 inch, 4-inch modern action figure community. I'm back again with another video. And in this video, we're going to be discussing none other than the Marauders Taskforce Vietnam Kickstarter action figures. Now, unless you've been under a rock, you know that Marauders have been pretty much changing the game in the 118 scale, well, let's say 4-inch modern world. So recently, well, I use the term recently very loosely, but they had launched a Kickstarter to create these Vietnam figures. This will be the first wave. In my last video, you saw the Viet Cong action figures. Now, today we're going to look at the American side. Really cool figures, and I mean, it seems like this world has gone to the 6-inch figure. However, Marauder still keeps hitting with the right and the left, straight to the chin with these 4-inch action figures, and they're doing them better and better every time you see them. So let's get a look at these without further ado, and let's see what we have here. Just gonna dump that out and get moving. So first and foremost, it appears that they gave us a cool Vietnam sticker here, and this is the logo that coincides with this figure release. I mean, we waited quite some time for these figures to be produced, but so far, from what I've seen, it was well worth the wait. So next, they sent me this. They always try to give you something free for supporting them, and I think that's pretty cool. Let's see what we got here. Looks like we got some kind of rifle that is going to undoubtedly be used with one of these figures. So that's pretty cool. Look at the detail on that. That's very nicely done. Very robust, and it's more like a plastic. It's not rubbery. You know how we get those rubbery guns in there, or those rubbery weapons in there. Disappointing. This one's made really nicely. Very solid. Awesome. So let's go ahead and get a look at the actual figures here. And I usually don't do the whole arm raise, head tilt, all that stuff, but today I'm going to do it because these figures are created very differently from what we've seen in the past from Marauders. So his head is on a double joint, so he can look down that low, look up that high, to the side. Awesome. They use a new barbell joint system in the neck, where you insert the barbell and insert the barbell into his head, and gives him a better range of motion. He's got arm raise, arm twist, 360. He's also got his elbow movement here, both sides, and they also twist both sides. He's got here, it looks like he has wrist raise. That's kind of tight. Remember, heat these things up before you start messing around with them. Here, arm raise also. The legs go out about that much. Abs, the same ab crunch that we're used to. He's got this part here is removable. If you separate the abs, you can take this part off. Here, he has thigh swivel. If you see that, both sides. And he also has boot swivel right here, both sides. Legs go back about that far. And he's got, his ankles are on a rocker. And am I missing anything? Arms go up about that high. And they're 360. So yeah, that's about it. So without further ado, we're going to arm this guy and put all of his equipment on. So this is the usual notice that it came with. In the last set, they gave us um, a instruction sheet on how to get this particular part on. So I read it. I kind of have an idea, but now's the time we're going to play around with it. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go off camera and get it done, and then I'll explain what I did to get it on. All right. Sorry. So what I ended up doing was straightening his arm straight down and then slipping him in, being very careful to maneuver his arms around those sleeves. They'll get caught up on this, but as long as you pay attention and you work one side, you work the other, it'll go on. Just don't force anything. If it's not working, then heat these things up. But I was able to get it on. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't that difficult either. So it wasn't too bad. So we're going to go ahead and, before I put that back, let's make sure we don't have anything else to go on his waist. I don't want to keep removing and putting things on his, like removing his legs or hip section. All right, so as you see here, there is a ton of things to go on this figure here. Of course, he has his figure stand, and he has this two-part backpack. And I don't know why that was molded like that, but apparently this snaps together like this. But I'll wait to put that together here in a second. He also has another, if you don't like this one, he has another set of web gear here that you can put on instead of this one. This one is probably going to be easier to put on. Sorry, I keep knocking the camera around. But anyway, let's move on. So next, I want to mount his knife. This is the knife he comes with, and it also all black. Looks silver from the light shining, but it's all black. And he has a sheath that goes with it. So let's get that mounted. Get that ready to go. Fits loosely. Oh no, it sits in there nicely. It holds. Really cool. A lot of pouches. How about we put that one right there? That pouch right there. He's got this this little one here, and we'll use that for his grenades. We'll do that in a second. He also has this here, which I think is for his waist, or is possibly to sling over his shoulder. We'll figure that out in a second. And he has a canteen, very nicely done. Helmet, holster, and more pouches. So, give me a second. So, as I'm putting things together, I realized they sent me two of these, one with these double pegs and one with the back peg. So I'm trying to figure out, and these of course are the parts that you use to mount this. So I got to figure out what that is actually for. So as soon as I figure out, I will let you all know. So just messing around with it, all I could think of is if you want it to sit lower, like on his belt. I don't know why you would want to do that, but that's pretty much there. Also, this backpack is modular. It has quite a few holes on it for you to plug in different pieces of his equipment. So you can do your canteen here. I already put this one on here. He also has these very small pouches that can go on here on the sides, like so. These things are really cool, man. I mean, they really went above and beyond to create these Vietnam era figures. We can also go here with it. You know, right there with the canteen. He also has this sidearm. Looks like a 45 ACP. We've seen these before. I'm glad they're making them now in black and brown. But before we got them in more of a silver and brown color. So this is going to be pretty cool. So as you see here, one of the next cool parts is this helmet band. It has this pack of cigarettes. It has whatever that is. And pretty cool. So I think I'm going to go ahead and slap this on them. Let's try to get a little straighter. Even though I remember seeing pictures of these guys wearing their helmets all crooked and stuff, because, I mean, this was what it was back then. So let's now do a 360. I'm going to put them on a stand, and we'll do a 360. Give me 1 second here. All right, there we go. There we go. So this is what he looks like, all geared up. Pretty darn cool, if I would say so myself. Marauders did a really good job here. Now, let's talk cons. So, the one con I have is this is almost impossible to close, to get it to snap, because once the sidearm goes into it, and let's look at that. Once the sidearm goes into it, once you try to press that, it just presses against the sidearm in there, so it never pops into place. So whenever you move his arm, it's going to knock that off. Also, you see, just like that, here looks like a weak point, and both of his arms have that. So I've never seen a weak point on a Marauders figure like that, so just be careful if you're going to pick up these figures. Make sure you heat them up before you start molding and bending them and everything. I think that's going to be the only cons I have with this. This thing looks pretty cool, pretty awesome, if I may say so myself. This is nicely done. It also includes a single band, well, not necessarily single, just a band that does not have these cigarettes and stuff in it, because they went through the process of thinking like, hey, you know, not every figure, like if we team build these guys and change the head sculpts and make a different figure out, or make a different character for every figure, not every one we want to have this on every helmet. Not every soldier smoked and kept that up there like that. So that's pretty cool that they gave us a band, just a plain band also. And you'll see it right there. You see it? There it is right there. Pretty cool. You can mix and match these things up. You can figure out how you want them to present and do with them what you want. But that's pretty cool. This is going to be our second guy. I believe this guy here is the rifleman, and this guy is going to be Thumper, or the Grenadier. So I'm just going to, being that they're pretty much similar, just a little bit of a different color. These are both brand new head sculpts. They were not available on the site before. So I'm just going to go ahead and gear him up so that we can get a look at him also. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so here is your Grenadier, and this is his Thumper weapon. As you see, it actually opens so that he can load it. That's pretty cool. That's what it looks like here. Nicely detailed. hard plastic. And then this is the free gun that they gave me, or the free rifle that they gave me, so I'm gonna use that with him. I notice he does not seem to have a sidearm. In his photo on the website, he does have one. He doesn't. Oh, he also doesn't have a whole lot of equipment to throw on him. He does have these things here, that, and of course the two pegged uh, backpack thing here. And I think that is so you can mount it a little lower for whatever reason, or I guess mount it a little lower and still be able to use this peg hole for something different, something else. So let's do a quick 360. See what you're getting here. So that's the only peggable pouch that I have here, and I have one here and one there, and of course his canteen, but that was about it. He also has his knife on his side, the same knife we saw with him, and this is pretty much what you're getting. So with this being said, I think I'm gonna end this video right here. It went on kind of long, just like the Viet Cong one went on pretty long. Sorry about that, but it's a lot to cover here. I think Marauders did a good job here. Let's see if I can get them to stand up. Probably won't. So there you go. So just a little bit more of a close-up so you guys can see it a little better. But so this has been the Vietnam, the Marauders Taskforce Nam figures. Hey, check them out. They're pretty cool. I think Marauders did a really good job here. There's only a few cons. They both have them, where like the loose arms, but he doesn't have a side holstered pouch. And I looked around, I don't see one, so I don't think I lost one, so I didn't get one. But beyond that, it's all good. I think this is a really good figure right here. So I'm gonna end this video right here. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below. I'll get to them at my earliest convenience, all right? Peace.